If you don't know me, my name is Django. I am the creator of I Hope You Wake Up. It is a book that's a journey back to yourself. And lately, I've been writing another book called They Lied to You. And in that process, I decided to write more. And on this Substack, I've been just talking about the ideas that I'm traveling through as I'm writing the book. And I'm really thankful that you're here on this journey with me. So make sure to give me a follow, share. If you really enjoy, save it. Maybe have a chat with me, because I'm always looking to learn more and grow as I write this book. Because it's not really a book that's going to tell you about yourself as much as it's a journey with me. And I can only be a mirror to some extent to anyone around me. So I just hope I reflect something beautiful. But for today, I'm going to read a chapter. It's called Embracing the Paradox of Life. If it was supposed to be another way, it would have been a reflection on acceptance, meaning, and the deeper truths hidden in life's unfolding. So I hope you enjoy. Alan Watts once said the point of action is contemplation. This statement has echoed in my mind for years, challenging me to rethink how I approach life. In the Western world, we tend to view action as a means to an end, a way to solve problems, achieve goals, or fix what's broken. But what if the true purpose of action wasn't a result at all? What if action's real value lay in its ability to make us pause and think? We're trapped in a constant cycle of doing. Action isn't limited to physical tasks, it's mental too. We overthink, we analyze, and we worry ourselves into exhaustion. Many of us struggle to fall asleep at night because the moment our head hits the pillow, our thoughts start racing. I've been there, lying awake for hours, anxiety coursing through me, trying to mentally solve problems that seemed insurmountable. Our culture has conditioned us to equate rest with laziness and contemplation with inaction. But in doing so, we've deprived ourselves of the very thing we need most, space to simply be. For much of my life, I believed everything happened for a reason. It was comforting. This idea that life followed a divine script, that every twist and turn had meaning. But as I grew older, I began to notice something unsettling. My reasons kept changing. The explanations I gave for why certain things happened, whether to justify pain or celebrate joy, were fluid. They shifted based on where I was in life. If the reason kept changing, were they ever real to begin with? Or were they just stories I told myself to make sense of the chaos? This questioning of reasons became even more poignant as I reflected on my religious upbringing. In church, I was taught that God has a plan for each of us. When we stray from that plan, we're often told we're disappointing him or even angering him. Stories like those of Saul, David, Solomon, and Adam and Eve reinforce this notion that our lives are either aligned with divine intention or veering dangerously off course. The weight of this belief is immense. It can lead to self-loathing, guilt, and a constant fear of failing not just yourself, but your creator. Even though America is no longer as overtly evangelical as it once was, these ideas still permeate our culture. Many of us, consciously or not, carry the burden of believing that life has a correct path. When things go wrong, we think we failed, not just ourselves, but some higher purpose. This belief shows up even in secular contexts. Consider the phrase, "If only I had done it differently," or "It wasn't supposed to be this way." These thoughts may not come from religious roots, but they carry the same weight of regret and self-recrimination. When I posted on TikTok about the idea that if it was supposed to be another way, it would have been, I received heartfelt responses. Many shared stories of unimaginable hardship, abuse, loss, betrayal. They pushed back against the idea, refusing to believe that such pain was meant to be, and I don't blame them. When you've been hurt by life, it's natural to resist the notion that your suffering was inevitable or preordained. But here's the question I keep coming back to. Why does it matter? Why are we so invested in whether something was supposed to happen? The answer, I think, lies in our need for control. To believe that something shouldn't have happened is paradoxically to believe that we could have changed it. It's an attempt to rewrite the past, to regain agency in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. In my book, one of the most profound lessons I learned came during a deeply painful experience detailed in a chapter called Embracing the Full Spectrum of the Holidays. For 31 years, I loved the holidays. They were a time of joy, family, and connection. But one year, that illusion shattered. People I trusted betrayed everything I believed in. The pain was unbearable. I asked myself, why? Why lie? Was any of it real? At first, I was consumed by anger and sorrow, but as I sat with those feelings, I realized something deeper. The reason I felt such profound pain was because I had experienced something so beautiful before. The depth of my heartbreak was a reflection of the depth of my love. That realization didn't erase the pain, but it brought light to the darkness. It reminded me that life is paradoxical. Joy and sorrow, love and loss, beauty and betrayal. They all coexist. Western culture, too, is a paradox. Our relentless drive to solve problems and master our environment has brought unparalleled prosperity. We've built breathtaking cities, created life-saving technologies, and achieved levels of comfort unimaginable to most of humanity throughout history. And yet, this same drive has left us spiritually hollow. Depression, anxiety, and loneliness are at record highs. Our obsession with progress has isolated us from ourselves, each other, and the natural world. In Rick Rubin's The Creative Act, A Way of Being, he introduces the concept of papancha, the mind's tendency to spiral into endless mental chatter. This chatter is fueled by our need for meaning, for answers, for solutions. It's the voice in our head that says, this shouldn't have happened, or why me? It keeps us trapped in a cycle of action and reaction, unable to simply be. What if the real problem isn't the events themselves, but our response to them? Our need to make sense of everything, to impose order on chaos, is both our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. It has given us art, science, and philosophy, but it has also led to suffering, disconnection, and existential dread. So is the answer to abandon Western ideals, to burn it all down and start fresh? I don't think so. Alan Watts said, the point of action is contemplation. Perhaps the solution lies not in rejecting our culture, but in integrating it with something deeper. A willingness to pause, to reflect, to accept. If it was supposed to happen another way, it would have. This isn't a call to fatalism or resignation. It's an invitation to let go of the mental chatter and embrace the paradoxes of life. To see beauty in the messiness. To find peace not in answers, but in the questions themselves. The choice is yours. But no matter what you choose, remember, if it was supposed to be another way, it would have been. And in that simple truth lies the freedom to live fully, right here, right now. If you enjoyed it, I hope you subscribe or follow wherever you're seeing this. And I want you to know, I love you infinitely.